What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Shout out to the House of the Dragon. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. For anybody and everybody wondering who the House of the Dragon is and who the Dragon Riders are, they're you. You are those people. You are that person. If you're watching this video, welcome to the fold, baby. You don't even know it. That's what it is. All right. Let's get into this though. We're at $458 right now. Looking at the ribbon, a little bit disappointing, right? A little bit of a bittersweetness going on here with January because it is January. It's the beginning of the month. We do have this fresh looking cross, but I am a little bit hesitant. I'm a bit sour because last month when we opened up December at this over here, we had this exact same look. And I made the joke that I'm about to make now, but it's not so much a joke now, is that the only way that this doesn't cross for December is if we drop low enough for it to not cross. And I said that last month, and that's exactly what we did. So I'm not, at the risk of cursing it or jinxing it, the only way that we don't get the bullish cross this month is if we were to pull back so low. We'd have to close below $400. Probably even lower. We'd probably have to close below last month's lows. And guys, if that happens, I'm getting out of Bitcoin Cash. Something's broken. We found the wrong. This dragon has some kind of mental disorder, and that's okay. But I don't feel safe flying on him. So if that happens, right, unless we close higher and we continue to move up higher, which is what I do suspect, then everything's fine. We're getting the bullish cross that we've been looking for. We are not being rejected by this trend line that we've been held down by for such a very long time, right? We'll not only be getting this cross, but we'll be breaking out of this lifelong consolidation phase that Bitcoin Cash has been in. I suspect, and I really do suspect, and a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but there are some people who have reasonable doubts that this cross will promote any kind of significant growth, that we will grow from it. It will promote growth, right? But it's not going to promote the kind of growth that I'm calling for. By the way, the kind of growth I'm calling for is something bigger than what we've seen already this cycle. So something bigger than either of these moves. If it were to be bigger than either of these moves, I mean, at a minimum, that would imply then that we'd have to see a move that ends at least around like $1,300, if not more, right? If they were to be bigger than, and I didn't measure from the lows, right? I measured these lines from their respective lows, to be fair. So I guess I am fudging it a little. I'm cheating, but cheating to the effect where it makes it harder for me. The technical area would be like this move would basically have to break above $1,000 to be more significant, larger than the other moves. But I'm also taking into consideration that this move, while yes, if I'm measuring from this low here to this high, that's that move. If I measure from this low to that high there, that's that move. I could do that. But is that how we would measure this move here? Like, did this move start at this low? Did this move start at this low? You know what I mean? This move did. It definitely started at this low. But I feel like what would be more appropriate would be to draw maybe that move as a whole, and then this move started here, okay, and then apply that to where our move is starting, which might be more like right here, I would say, not these last 3 weeks. So if we did that, looking at it, the move would be to about $1,000. I'm expecting, again, getting back to the point here, I'm expecting that this culmination of breaking out of your lifelong consolidation line or trend line, resistance line, whatever you want to call it here, lifelong line that you've been held down by, in culmination with this monthly cross, I think that will promote a stronger move than anything we've seen this cycle so far. And if that were to be true, from a high to a low, again, that'd be about $1,000. The fib targets that we have are at the 1272 to the 1414. That's right about $1,000, give or take $100 either direction. If that's where we would go if we were to mimic these moves, essentially, if we were to see the same growth. If I'm expecting larger growth, then that would imply a larger move, which is, that 1618. That's where we make sense out of 1300. The 1886 to the 200 level, that's where we make sense out of that, right? I do very much fully expect, even though December was a dud, and it was absolutely a dud. It was not what I was expecting, what anybody was expecting. I will say, isn't it crazy, man, how Bitcoin Cash, high to low here, it tipped its 886, and then it came down and it literally tipped its 382. Like I said, that low is perfectly at the 382. I don't know what that means. I'm not familiar with this kind of like 886 to 382 movement, but I've seen it happen a few times. I'm getting familiar with it, and this is something that I'm excited. Maybe some other people have noticed it. Maybe some other people have theories, and I'm open to theories. Share your theories. Go for it, right? We're all trying to figure this out together, but I think think that as long as you hold the 382, and then once you break above the 886, that this will lead to a very big move. But we'll see, right? What I'm trying to get to is I've seen this a couple times. I don't have enough conclusive evidence. I haven't tracked it enough to be completely certain of what I'm about to say. But I swear I've seen this happen a couple times throughout the cycle, from the 886 to their 382 or 886 all the way down to the 236 even, and the moves that happen afterwards tend to be good. And the reason why I'm not certain is because I have seen this sometimes where they do see lower lows, but I think there's other factors at play, so that's why I'm not so confident in saying that now. I'm pretty confident in saying that now because it's Bitcoin Cash, and I expect nothing less than $1,300 by the end of this move. But again, just it's an unfamiliar, for me, it's kind of an unfamiliar fib dynamic. You know, I'm used to the 382 going to the 236, going to the 618, going to the 0.5, going to the 886. I'm used to that, right? That's the classic, that's the bread and butter I've brought up to a lot of different people, right? You guys, if you've been following the channel for like more than a year, you should be very aware of this exact pattern right here, and then especially the patterns proceeding into extensions and stuff like that, right? We've got all kinds of fib metrics, even going all the way up to the 786, tearing through your golden ratio, and then pulling back to your 0.5 rapidly, or your 382, or even down to your 236. All of these targets are like, we've seen these moves and identified those throughout the past like 6 months as well. But this 886 to 382, I'm not familiar with that, and it seems so insignificant. I'm getting hung up on it. I'm spending so much time talking about it, but I don't know, man. Mr. Hat, if you're watching this, or Smooth Operator, give me your 2 cents. I don't know if you. I know Mr. Hat uses the fibs more. I don't know if Smooth does as much, but. And I'm aware of harmonics, but it's not what I'm talking about necessarily. I mean, kind of, but not really. I guess I'm talking about a fib schematic. Like, what is this? What is this? It's so extreme. You're literally going from your deepest retracement to one of your shallowest retracements. It's crazy. But but enough of that. Okay, I'm getting all caught up here. Weekly basis, the way that the ribbon looks, the way that you're reacting off it now would lead me to believe that you're going to grow off of it, right? Generally, I mean. We did that a lot. We did that a handful of times here, and it didn't promote too much growth. But if you do look at each time that you bounced off this line, how far away from it you went whenever you found your high, to me, that would imply that we would at least get some separation, something that would take us above $500 again, right? At least. And if we move up above $500 again, from a high to a low, I mean, all we need to do, guys, is get above 530. We get above 530 and maintain above 530, right? Because Bitcoin Cash does like to do this thing. It did it a lot down in its last consolidation phase here, right? I'll show you. It likes to do this thing where it flirts with its 618 but doesn't quite cross it. High to low there. Look at all the. I'm going to put it on a different chart so it's not so much of a headache to look at, right? Weekly. High to low here. You mess with that 618, this golden ratio, the white zone, a lot before you finally nutted up and broke through it and then continued afterwards, right? So whenever I'm saying that getting above 520 would be nice, sorry, 530, that'd be nice, don't expect the fireworks to fly as soon as we get above there, right? They could, it's possible they could, but Bitcoin Cash likes to tease, right? It is a very big tease. So here we are at 457 right now. The expectation ideally would be that we do move up to something above $500. Again, looking at just the weekly, how you've interacted with bouncing off this, even like a minimum bounce that you saw here, let alone something that carried out to something more productive. Even a minimum bounce, I think, would be safe to assume that we see something around like probably like 500 to 520, 530. If we can close above 530 any given day, that's when it's time to get excited for new cycle high, right? Not new all-time highs, but just new cycle highs. But until then, I guess we're just waiting, guys. I do think, and I do, in case I haven't made it abundantly clear in this video, I do think that Bitcoin Cash has found its low. I do think that the whole reason I've been talking about higher prices is because I think that it's found its low. It is possible it could go lower. It's possible that Bitcoin Cash could go to 378 to 355. It's at 457. I have changed my opinion over the last 2 days. I have. What changed? What changed your opinion? Well, whenever I was bearish, it was in the wake of this day. Very bearish engulfing candle, wick, just falling star, lowest daily close, scared the shit out of me. What changed my opinion this day? Which was the exact opposite. It was a bullish engulfing candle, not a lot of volume still. And to be fair, guys, we could be at this tomorrow. We could be at this exact same stuff tomorrow. I could be saying bearish things, right? We might be a little flip-floppy from here. But what I can tell you is I don't care if I flop bearish right here or I flop bullish right here, whatever my preconceived idea was before, I will flip right in these areas, and I will catch the majority of the move, and so will all of you, right? Hopefully, ideally, right? Not because of anything that I'm saying. You'll just hopefully catch the move too, because you'll be aware that we're moving higher at these prices, right? That's all I'm trying to say. But I don't care if I'm bullish here, it takes the price to go down here for me to be bearish, and then it comes back up here, and it takes the price going up here for me to be bullish, and then it actually goes. I don't care if I have to do that. I will, because I'm happy being indecisive here while Bitcoin Cash and the rest of crypto is literally being indecisive as hell. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with missing most of the move, right? And we will get most of the move right. But I haven't been indecisive throughout most of this range. I have, since this low came in, been very adamant that was the low. It was only this day that I was bearish, and now I'm flopped back. It does take a little bit for me to flip-flop. I'm not just like a piece of paper in the wind, right? I will be if I need to be. And sometimes that's what it takes. It really does. And that's the thing too, man. Whether if you're an aspiring technical analyst, I'm going off on a whole different tangent here, man. But this is something that maybe you need to hear if you're an aspiring technical analyst. Do not be afraid to flip-flop. Don't if you got friends that you brag to about the stuff, that you talk to about the stuff, people that you're in a Discord with, that you make public opinions with, and you're afraid to flip-flop because your pride and your ego says, no, I have to stick to this decision, you're going to lose money that way. You might hold to your pride, and you might have balls of steel, and even if you are wrong, you can hold to that. Or you could flip-flop like a piece of paper in the wind, and even if you're flip-flopping and you're a piece of paper in the wind, still have your money. You might not have balls of steel, but you'll have balls of gold. I don't know what's better to you. So all that being said, don't be afraid to flip flop. It's not a bad thing. I get comments sometimes where people try to make fun of me for flip flopping. It's like, dude, if you're a good trader, if you're a good investor, you should be able to be malleable. You really should be able to. So don't look at that. Don't let anybody who's telling stuff like that to you dissuade you from from being malleable. You should be very malleable, especially in times like these. But even in that, even with all that being true, it takes some stuff for me to be flip-floppy, guys. And this, I mean, I feel like that's pretty understandable circumstances there. But here I am, I guess, just trying to explain myself, which I don't know why. But anyways, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I think I've given a detailed outlook as to what I expect for Bitcoin Cash over the coming days, right? I expect that we are going to move up over the coming weeks, over the coming months. I think that we are going to move up. I think that we've got 1,300 and higher on the horizon. I do still suspect that by the end of January, we will see prices above 1,300. I suspect that this overall just cross of the monthly ribbon and the breaking out of this lifelong consolidation that we've been in, I think that culminating together will be a massive ignition point for Bitcoin Cash to kind of launch forward and go higher. It's the same old song and dance we've been singing for months now. It's just finally time to perform, I think, and it all starts here. It all starts when we close above 530. That was our relative 618 from this high to low. Also, that low there is at about 517. We close above 530. We're closing above that low as well. I think 530 is where it's at, though, y'all. High to low, you close above 530. That golden ratio right there, it's on, and then it's on until $1,300, man. It all starts from there. So until then, we're just messing around in this range, or maybe we go up a little bit higher, but then we're messing around in this range, like whatever, right? So yeah, bye-bye.